Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for over 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Tuesday, so a lot of cool, interesting things. Also a good Tuesday, so finally a good couple of days. The first thing is this Lotto board game right here. It says Everybody's Game. It's by Whitman Games. They do like 1960s board games. I've found their stuff before, so I now know what to look out for. This one looks kind of junk. Just like the style and stuff, but really cool to sell to like a board game collector. They do like to pick up all these different board games. A lot of these like older ones are kind of hard to find and there's not that much information on it. I got a couple of these ones. This wasn't as rare as other ones. This sold for $7.64 plus shipping. Everything's gonna be plus shipping. All right, next up to the really cool, unique things. So got this like a big lots at an auction a couple of years ago. It was just like a bunch of like ephemera from a family that I think was somewhere in Europe, and then part of the family moved to Ohio. And then there was a bunch of correspondence letters. There was also, I think the husband was in Europe, and then they would send a bunch of like Valentine's letters and stuff to their wife. Really cool stuff. So I got a bunch of stuff. This is just like a binder right here full of all of the correspondence letters. Super interesting. And then right here, they even wrote what like the purpose of this binder was. It talks about, this is from, I think a lot of this stuff is dated from the 1850s to 1860s and even beyond that. It was just a bunch of letters. It's all like really cool. Let me see if I can like take this out. I have to be careful. Someone already paid for this, so I guess it's actually gonna be hard to take out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys right here. Lots of cursive writing, which was really interesting to me because I hadn't like written and read cursive since I was in like middle school. So I kind of like lost the ability to do so. And this is like older cursive. So it's very penmanship like, very neat and stuff like that. Also probably like different swivels and stuff. You know what I mean? How there's like different cursive styles throughout the years and stuff like that. So yeah, really unique thing. There's like over 100 plus different letters from these families together, or sorry, sent to each other. Oh yeah, this one says July the 25th, 1839. Really unique kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff you can, I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the one right here on this arm right here. Yeah, there's a ton of these letters. It is written neatly. It says like, dear brother and sister. It is with due. Jesus, sorry, I'm really bad at reading the cursive. Sorry, I can't go further. It's really like hard. Plus the lighting's not good. We have. I don't know. I can't go through this. I'm sorry. This is really hard for. But someone's gonna go through this and they're gonna appreciate it. Really neat, like a piece of ephemera here. There's also like little. What is this? This is a commission merchants. I'm not sure, like a business card. Check out this business card right over here. I think that's a bigger size business card, super big compared to like wallet size now. It says commission merchants, 90 La Salle Street, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, that's really cool. Check out these like little letters that would be sent, old school like mail right there. So yeah, I'm not like super informed about the 1800s stuff, but this is just like, I knew this would be really cool for someone to go through, really intriguing for someone. I sold this, so all right, let's go ahead. Enough talking about this. Like I can go on and on just because it looks like it's fascinating. This is like actual history in my hands. It was well documented, well kept. There's also like newspaper little clippings and stuff. A lot of cool stuff. The person's kind of fun going through this. They messaged me asking like what I knew about this, but they were excited to go through it either way. This sold for $191.25. So yeah, that's super good. It's been a while since we got a big sale. We generally sell stuff for like, I don't know, $10, $20. I'll be pretty happy because we get to sell a bunch of stuff. But yeah, getting that much money and then going to someone, I knew I could price it up because it was going to go to someone that wanted to actually dig through it and appreciate this family's like history and their correspondence. A lot for them to go through. It might take like many months. Like I said, I'm bad at reading that kind of cursive, just older style. Of course, it is pretty neat, but of course it's going to have like, due to age, it's just slightly harder to read, little bleeding of like the pen marks and stuff. All right, moving along, something lower to the ground, completely modern. We got this Pokemon Elite Trainer box. This is the Scarlet and Violet 151 set, super popular. No, there's no packs or cards in here, but I still sell like the empty containers. People use this for storage. It's actually nice as like a gift box. If you get kids, like parents get kids Pokemon cards, they can get like an empty box just so that the kids have a place to store it rather than tossing them on the ground. And also, it's a nice bookshelf piece. So this ended up selling for $9, which is pretty good for these empty boxes. A lot of people just like toss them aside and they don't really care about them. But I'm always asking people who I know who are into cards if they can save like the boxes, wrapper, stuff like that, because I know it ends up being like a pretty cool collectible to someone. All right, moving along, we have this Champions Demons Rule. So Champions is going to be a superhero, I think it was like 1990s, 80s, or early 2000s, like RPG game. Not as popular as like the Dungeons and Dragons and other fantasy stuff, but I do occasionally sell it. So yeah, this ended up going for $6. Like I said, nothing too fancy. I think it's just like a little adventure for the Champions realm. All right, moving along, we have this, and then I got a bunch of these toasters, not like the one where you put the Pop-Tart in and pop it out, but these are like they heat up your toes. Do they work? I'm not too sure. I'm not a fan. I call these things, I tell them that I call them like man gadgets or whatever, just like little gadgets that I don't know. I'm not a fan of gadgets and stuff like that, if that makes sense. I want something to be like a well-known thing, but I guess something has to start as a gadget before it comes well-known. This sold for $7.42. She got a bunch of them a long time ago, maybe Goodwill, maybe Savers, maybe like a mom and pop thrift store. She would go around to all these thrift stores, get stuff really cheap, and then we would just end up listing it. That was the last pair we had, $7.42, so it's nothing crazy. Unfortunately, with one of like the 6 pairs we sold, one of them was like, well, I don't know if it was or wasn't, but it was claimed not working. So we did the refund at the time. We did not ask for a return. So I guess we probably should have asked for a return and just tested them ourselves. I could have had my own toasters. All right, moving along, we have, well, I guess I wouldn't want something that someone put their toes on. All right, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Moving along, we have 101 Airborne, what's the rest of the name? Invasion Normandy PC game right here. People like the strategy games, the war games. There's a bunch of them. I try to pick out like the more, I guess, like unique ones that kind of stand out to me. I try to think of like the person that will like to pop this into their CD drive and actually play it. It's probably gonna be like an older gentleman. And I'm like, yeah, this one looks like interesting. Just the front and the back kind of like intrigued me. If it intrigues me, I know someone's gonna be interested in it. Sold for $18.75. I'll play almost like most video games. I'll give stuff a try. I'm just short on time, so I have to like pick and choose my video games these days. All right, next up is going to be this Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2. So I've never played any of the Ghost Recons, Tom Clancy's. Oh, what's the other now? Of course, I'm drawing a blank now that I'm recording. There's other like the military games I just haven't played. I know a lot of people like them, just never got into them. For like shooter games, I just kind of played like the classic Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, and I played Borderlands 2, and then Dead Space 1 through 3. So I'm not really like in the shooter realm. But yeah, this ended up selling for $12.15. But I know that like these side ones that aren't the Call of Duty stuff, so the non-Call of Duty stuff is popular. There is like a fan base and a following for them. All right, next up is going to be a super cool little die-cast helicopter. I always get excited when I get like the helicopters or maybe like submarines or kind of like the more unique die-cast metal collectible little toys. I always find you can find like cars because there was Matchbox, there was Hot Wheels, there was other companies that did like cars, but like finding the actual like good quality helicopters and the other vehicles that are kind of more rare, I always get excited for that. So yeah, this ended up selling for $11.99. All right, moving along right here, we have this Emerald MCM green little 5-inch pitcher. It's kind of weird because on the outside it looks like there's a crack, but when you look inside, it just looks like there's some like gunk that needs to be cleaned. So I put in the listing that this needs some cleaning. Really cool pitcher for someone, probably like syrup or some kind of sauce, or like a little flower vase, or just a decoration. And then I got a bunch of these in auction. I was not a fan when she got it. I was telling her not to bid. It was an online auction. But I was like, okay. She was like, oh, but the minimum bid's $10. So can I do the minimum bid? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. I can't say no to the minimum bid because we got like about 40 or 50 different various sizes of this green MCM emerald green like glass. Ended up doing really well. We probably only have like 8 or 10 things listed. There's like a couple, I guess they're not in the shot right here, but there's a couple things she wanted to keep herself. So yeah, we probably made like more than $100 on all this stuff, and there's still some listed, and then we're keeping some. So yeah, she was correct to I just didn't want to deal with the glass, I got nervous about it. It's been fine so far, knock on wood. All right, moving along, we have a chit sheet for Europa. This is sheet number 21. There's a bunch of little tokens. So this is probably what I think a couple hundred. I think each of these batches is going to be 20 or 10. Let's see, each game's different. 3, 6, 7, I guess 14 in each of these. So yeah, there's over a couple hundred, I believe, in this particular sheet. Just to give you an idea, this is sheet 21, guys. I don't know how many sheets there are. This is for a bigger, expansive board game called Europa, and I believe they have a bunch of like small like battles within Europe that they cover. So this one was, let's see, it had like a weird name, Martia Merker, first edition. These sold for $16.87 for one sheet. So yeah, if you get the complete game, it would go for a lot. People like the games. I think there's another one called, is it Africa? Africa with like yeah, it's I think it's like an intense board game that takes a long time. It's also like a super rare board game where it's almost like it went from like a meme to like no one's ever finished it because it gets down to like the gritty details of the game. You have to like cook pasta, and there's like apparently a bunch of rules. All right, I'm just rambling at this point, but there's a lot of like interesting war games that are go for good money, even with just like the tokens, sheets, and stuff like that, bits and pieces. All right, moving along, we have this Pokemon Costco 2021 EV treasure chest tin right here. This is gonna have it's gonna have like stickers, it's gonna have promo cards, the original three like Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. It has a bunch of packs in there. I think there's gonna be some Evolving Skies. There's gonna be some, what was the era? It's not Scarlet. Was it Scarlet Violet? No, I can't think of it. Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on like what era packs these were. But yeah, from 2021. It doesn't say on the back, but it's always going to be like with these randomized tins. If you kind of just look up like someone else's box opening on YouTube or something, whatever types of packs they get, you're also going to get them. I'm pretty sure. I think the packages do claim that it's going to be random as random, but I think they're just covering their behinds by saying that. Usually it's the same amount of packs. Cards are different in the packs, but yeah, this ended up selling for $44.99. We ended up having like I think it was like 20 of the Costco tins because there was a Costco where people weren't fighting each other in 2021 for the Pokemon stuff. So I eventually was like, okay, we'll buy 20 of them and try to flip them, and they've been selling for a good amount of money now. So that was that like 4 years later. Is it worth it? I guess so. It feels good now, I guess. But back then, it was pretty cheap. I think Costco was selling them in 2021 for it was either $25 or $35. It was an obnoxiously big. You've seen me sell them. They're like really big, so the shipping's pretty expensive. It has this in the middle. It has some also additional. There's promos in this, but there's EV promos on the front, and then you have the two Pokeballs with packs inside on the side. I wanted to see if the bigger thing would sell more than like the individual things, and I think the bigger things have been selling faster, but I got more money for breaking down the individual and selling this in the individual tins. And then I think the EV promos are there's a lot of them kind of out there, so they're still only like a couple of dollars, but everything adds up. All right, $44.99. All right, moving along, we have Caesar Miniatures Modern Special Forces Worldwide. I get these Caesar miniature boxes at like a medium rate. They're okay. People like the all types of military historical miniatures. They do a bunch. These are 1/72 scale, just kind of like a little popular size. And then within this box, there happened to be like a whole nother squad. I can tell there's like two Caesar miniature packages in one. I couldn't identify them, so I just said it was the Modern Special Forces Worldwide plus extras I put in my listing, and then I just showed pictures of everything. I used a lot of pictures to show like, hey, here's the special forces you get, which is complete, and here's all like the extra miniatures you're going to get, which I don't know what they are, but the person may or may not use them. $26.24. And the last thing for the day right here is going to be Lord of the Rings strategy game, which is by Games Workshop. This happens to be like, I don't know if it was a promotional poster or if it came in like a starter set or something like that. But yeah, this is going to be, I believe, the Moria mines, the realm of Moria. This is where the dwarves are. Yeah, so on the top part is more of a detailed map of the Moria mines up there. And then on the middle over here, it's like circling Moria where they are. I mean, in Lord of the Rings, like where it happens in kind of like the middle of the realm. But yeah, super cool, like little extra thing. Like I said, this also could have came in a book. I don't know, but someone paid $18 for it. I think they've added new stuff to the game. They've done like updates or like released new stuff. Games Workshop, was it last year or something, or kind of recently? I'm not sure what old stuff you can use. I know the rules are updated, but if you play with friends, you can probably just do what you want. And then when games, board games, video games, when anything gets updated, people are thinking about it again and then they start searching out this stuff. So I've had this listed for probably a year or two. We got $18 for like a piece of paper ephemera that I get, posters, promos, a lot of fun. All right. Thank you for watching. A lot of interesting stuff today. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone's having a good start to their week.